Rams fans, welcome in on this edition of Rams Showcase. We are back. Plus, are we ready for this, though? I mean, you know. And later, Xavier Smith for wide receiver 3 and other Fan Quesos. Let's rock.
Welcome to Rams Showcase.
And now, here's your host, Sheriff Joe Bags.
Yes, welcome to the Rams Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags, at Sheriff Joe Bags, at Rams Showcase. That's where you follow along on socials, ramshowcase.com as well. Also, one horn of the Both Horns podcast. That is with Tuna. And we do that bad boy live a few times a week right now. But, yo, we're getting to season time, so we're ramping that bad boy up. Going to be absolutely awesome season for Both Horns. I think it's going to be one of those shows. I think it's going to surpass this show, and this is season 11 of Rams Showcase. But as far as like draw and attention and all that stuff, I think that Both Horns will eventually surpass this one. But that's a-okay with me. And also means nothing for the future of Rams Showcase. We'll still be doing this bad boy all the time. Season 11, dude. We can't be stopping now, man. So gonna keep it rolling. We will be getting into some players to watch. Obviously, we don't have like a full game preview because to preview a preseason game is a little bit weird in my opinion because, this is just practice. So to preview practice, we're not really knocking down like rankings and in specific matchups and stuff like that. We're just kind of pinpointing our guys that we want to keep an eye on. So we'll get into that list here. And then also just what to expect out of our first preseason game. The Rams have historically treated preseason a little bit different than most other teams. We also will find out what kind of candy I think J-Watt is and other ridiculous Fan Quesos. We'll get into that here soon. But first, I want to talk about the game day giveaways that the Rams have announced. I'll put the image that they shared up on your screen for you YouTube watchers or video watchers. For you audio listeners, well, I still got the information for you. So if you are going to be out at SoFi checking out some Rams action, then there is a few giveaways. First game day giveaway is going to be Week 2 Monday Night Football versus the New York Football Giants. This giveaway, as the Rams are going to be wearing their yellow jerseys, the debut of the 1951 throwback jersey style. In celebration of that, 1951 championship beach towel will be given away. And I'm trying to carve out a spot for that bad boy already because I am going to be at that game. So 1,000% going to have one of these 1951 championship beach towels, which is absolutely awesome. I'll say of all the ridiculous Rams stuff that I've got in this room, all the Super Bowl stuff all over the place, no 1951 championship stuff. I was negative 40, so cut me a little bit of slack there, 40 years before I was born, but still, that's absolutely awesome. I'm fired up for these uniforms. I'm excited that I get to be there for the debut. Also excited to snag one of these towels. The next giveaway, the following Monday night game for the Rams, which is going to be Week 5 Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be an MVP rally towel presented by Hyundai. You got that Matthew Stafford rally towel. You'll be swinging them bad boys around. Hopefully we get some more sick highlights like we did last time the Bills came to town. Puka Nacua had that crazy sideline catch. All that business. It was an absolutely phenomenal time. It was my viewpoint of that catch, by the way. I was like down the sideline exactly. And as soon as he caught it, I was like, yo, that's a catch. Man, what are we doing? So I was losing my mind, but hopefully we get some more highlights such as this upcoming one. The very next week for the Rams, Week 6, Sunday versus the Cardinals, is just a regular Sunday afternoon kickoff time. Replica championship ring presented by Cedars Sinai. I've got mine somewhere. I was trying to find it yesterday, too. I was probably on this top shelf, if I had to guess. That might be it, somewhere over there. But it's also far away from me, man, so I can't just be snagging all my stuff. It's not show and tell, man. But the Replica Championship ring, like I said, presented by Cedar Sinai, that's going to be an absolutely awesome one. If you don't have one of these replica rings, it's kind of weird. Am I crazy for thinking that the Rams fans are like the only fan base that's gone nuts over championship replica rings? Like I've seen other fans have them, but I've never seen more people have championship rings, like Super Bowl rings, than Rams fans with the SoFi Super Bowl top thing. I think it's awesome. I love that. That's super cool. But I've never seen that before. I just think that's really awesome. And bonus, probably a good, 40,000 of them bad boys going out the door again. So make sure you're there early, snag one of those. And the final giveaway is going to be Week 13, Thursday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be a jersey rally towel presented by American Airlines. This is also the yellow throwback game, the other yellow jersey throwback game, yellow on white for the Rams for that one. And then the actual towel itself is the throwback style towel. It's got number 51 on there. They're really hammering that 1951 championship. Absolutely love to see that. Also, there's other giveaways that are included, but you got to kind of do specific things for them. So week 6, Sunday versus the Cardinals, there's also that other giveaway for it. But if you do the exclusive ticket pack offer, you can get the Rams Minnie Mouse ears. And you have to basically purchase the ticket package and then show up to the stadium, and then they'll give it to you there. So you can't just get it on your own. But we'll talk about actually some of that stuff here in a second. But week 8, Sunday versus the Chargers, another game that I will be at. I didn't buy my tickets through this, though. We got the Dia de los Muertos bobblehead. That thing's super sick. I definitely want one of those. I need somebody who has season tickets to help me get one of these, dude, because I definitely want one. And I'll be at that game, so I absolutely want to snag one for sure. And then week 18, that game doesn't have a date. Obviously, it's week 18 versus the Seattle Seahawks. So we're hoping Sunday Night Football, the very last game of the regular season. That's going to be a Hello Kitty bobblehead. And for these, like I said, you need that special ticket package that is required to get those last 3. But the season ticket holders are able to purchase those items on their own. You just need to go through like your season ticket portal or something like that. I don't have season tickets. I live in Colorado, so forgive me, I don't know exactly how it goes, but you log into that, and then there's a way for you to just buy that item by itself without getting an extra ticket, because you have tickets, dude. So you don't need another one. Tickets can be purchased without the item included, obviously. I think that's what most people already have done. I haven't seen anybody be like posting about being excited for their bobbleheads or Minnie Mouse ears or anything like that. So there's that part. And then, like I said, must attend the game to receive the item. You got to kind of show the proof of purchase when you show up, and then they'll give you that bad boy. And then tickets purchased with the special ticket package are not able to be resold or transferred and cannot be refunded. So if you do purchase your tickets through that special ticket pack offer, then make sure that you are going to the game, which... Are we really out here missing Rams games, guys? Come on, man. We can't be doing that. So just heads up if you're headed out that way for any of the games. Week 2, 5, 6, and 13, you got giveaways no matter who you are. And then that exclusive ticket pack offer, that's week 6, 8, and 18. Big chance to grab some bundles of merch, dude, in week 6 against the Arizona Cardinals coming to town. So that should be pretty cool. Fun stuff there. I want to move on here because this is a topic that's kind of been heavy on my head. And you know what? We just got to talk about it a little bit, okay? Because I feel like I can't be the only one feeling these things. I can't be the only one feeling these emotions, okay? The Rams have made it through one of the most wild off seasons. And that's not done. The wild off season of the Rams is not done. Even though we're hitting preseason, we're still not quite done. We have another guy who might join us and make a bunch of headlines, of course. But obviously, we're ready for the season to start. But are we? Are we ready for the season to start, man? I know this team feels ready. Team feels ready to roll, but as fans, are we as fans ready? And the reason that I ask this question is because this might be, historically, the most exciting time to be a Rams fan. And in fact, I'd argue with just about anybody about that this is the best era of Rams football. We get to exist during that time. Crazy. That's an absolute blast. But this moment that we're living in, it might be the best that the Rams ever are. This might be the best team that we ever field. And overall, just best era, best everything, best coach in Rams history, probably the best quarterback in Rams history, maybe the best wide receiver duo. I don't know. We've had a lot, I'll give you that. Best defense, maybe. We'll see. That's yet to be proven because last year, we're basing it off of your last game, right? We did make a lot of additions, but we got to let those guys touch the football field and actually be good before we just start doing that. But this is the best era of Rams football. This moment that we are currently living in, touching the start of the season without any on-field reps happening yet, what if this is the best that it gets? What if the hype is the best that it gets? What if we aren't as good as we think we will be or are supposed to be? What if this is the most exciting time? It doesn't feel realistic, but it is certainly not impossible. It does feel like the Rams should go on to win a bunch of football games, probably make the playoffs, and maybe go deep. But it's not guaranteed. Games need to happen for us to be sure, but again, what if this is the best that it gets, man? You aren't really allowed to disagree right now that the Rams are the best team in the NFL. I was having a conversation with my dad. He had mentioned some Chargers writer, he's a Chargers fan, some Chargers media person mentioned something about, going through the schedule and making their picks and pick the Chargers to beat the Rams. He told me he laughed at that. He was like, no, sure, maybe. We're not probably going to go undefeated. I'll be honest. I don't think we do go undefeated. Probably have some of those games, one or two, where things just aren't going our way. We're going to get everybody's best. So there's pretty good football teams out there. What if somebody's best is better than ours that day? Totally realistic. But I think today, to look at our coaching staff and our roster against any other, you can't say that you're better than us. It's not possible. After games get played, you might be able to say that. But today, before any on-field action has happened, you look at the Rams roster, you look at the Rams coaching staff, Super Bowls in LA, how close we've gotten the last few years and got better this year. Should be able to beat anybody in this league, honestly. Realistically, we should win every single game. Based on looking at every other team compared to ours, coaching staff and roster, you can look at any other team compared to ours. We do stack up against everybody. The Super Bowl champion just got worse. Their opponent probably stayed about the same. The other AFC championship team, about the same. Didn't really do much. I don't know how many other teams got as much better as the Rams did from a year ago. We lost the NFC championship game barely. Barely still counts. We still lost. They don't give you, some bonus points because you kept it close, But you take that, all of that information, look at the roster, the way that the Rams treated the offseason, we might still not be done. Who can beat this team, man? I don't know how an opposing fan looks at this roster and says that they can beat us. I mean, I think that's just homerism at its best at that point. I don't see how you can look at another team. And we've been on that side where we've been, having an opponent who is just absolutely phenomenal. Look at that game. It's like, well, it's not impossible for us to win, but that's a damn good football team over there. They probably beat us. I don't think that's unrealistic. So entering a season, this is the best we've ever been. This roster, this coaching staff is better than any team we've ever fielded in the history of the Rams. I do believe that. So part of me is reluctant for the season to begin. We're the undisputed champs right now, but we need to play people to prove that. But can I kind of live in this for a little bit? The offseason kind of went quick for me, man. Yes, I want the season to start, and yes, I think the Rams will have a damn good football season, man. But let's not act like our name is getting carved into the Lombardi right now, okay? That's not the case. We got a lot of snaps, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of missed tackles, a lot of bad days, a lot of injuries, a lot of breakouts that are still ahead of us. There are 31 other teams who won a Super Bowl this year, and maybe 7 or 8 who actually have a real shot at it. But we are overwhelming favorites, and the math still has us at about 12% chance to win it all. With 32 teams in the NFL, that number is phenomenal. But overall, it's not great. So yes, I want this season to start. And yes, I'm so fired up to see what this Rams team is going to do this year. But there is certainly a part of me that's like, oh man, but living in this right now, living in this moment of we are the best, you cannot argue with me. It's kind of fun. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. We're going to move on here to some other quick hidden news here. And then we do have some preseason conversation to have because, of course, that happens this weekend. As it does, I'm getting like such like the hangover vibes with the preseason here, because it's like it just kind of happened. Like I've been doing like the both horns and work's been crazy all summer and stuff like this, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, it's this weekend. It got me feeling like the friggin' hangover here, man. I'm just like walking around the office. It's like, we are back. We are back. We are getting Aaron back. This exciting times, man. This is very fun. Let's see here. This one's kind of just a fun one I wrote down. So it's a lot of stories about how super teams don't usually win at all. But I did not do any of the research, but I also don't think those rankings / information was paired with how those teams did in previous seasons. And coupling that with, the active, attempted improvements on your specific weak spots. I don't know, man. So that's kind of where my brain went with it. For the Rams, I think I feel like we've been in a pretty particular trajectory for a little bit now. And I don't know if I'd put us in that same conversation. There was some article about it that came out that was talking about like the last 20 highest odds for Super Bowl entering preseason, and only 2 had actually gone and won it all. But there was a bunch of really good football teams in there, and unfortunately too, you see a lot of those teams, and it's like, oh man, injuries got them. We were on there. We were one of them in the 2018 season. We were one of the favorites, and ended up, of course, losing the Super Bowl 53 to the New England Patriots of February 3rd, the worst date on the calendar. So that's good news. Let's see here. Former Ram Aaron Donald has continued to tease his potential return to the football field. No word yet, but starting to feel like it's almost guaranteed at this time. Very much to the point that if he announces that he's not coming back, a little bit rude, a little bit ridiculous. What was all this for, man? What are we doing if you don't come back now? I mean, what do we do? What are we doing out here, Aaron? So that's where my thoughts are on that. That's like my most basic thoughts of the Aaron Donald situation. Like, it feels pretty real. And if not, come on, man. Give me a little bit then. Andy Reid was asked about playing the Rams in preseason as well as the regular season, and mentioned that it does not change or make change anything or make a big impact. Yeah, man. Who asked this question? You guys got to stop asking these bad questions, man. I'm sick of that. As long as I can't get these questions myself and ask head coaches and players and stuff my own questions, I at least want people to not ask ridiculous ones. You know what I mean? So that'd be cool. Reed did note that the Chiefs will be vanilla and the Rams don't play really anybody in preseason. So no, it doesn't have any indication on how that next game will go on Thursday Night Football later this year. If anyone says that playing the Chiefs in preseason will impact the Week 13 matchup, loudly acknowledge that person does not know ball, but politely offer to introduce them to ball. Maybe they can watch some games with you this year. Let's get into some preseason action here as, you know what? It's starting. Okay, dude. We are here. We are back. The action is rolling. That means Ram Showcase is in your life every single week here until hopefully February. That is the plan. But there's obviously, like I said earlier, there's not a game preview to get into because we're not really previewing the matchup itself. We're just kind of looking at our guys. This is a televised practice that they open stadiums for and allow fans to buy tickets for and drink beers and eat food and stuff. It's a preseason is one of those little dances, where you kind of like, obviously the team gets their rhythm. There's a lot of different moving pieces to an NFL football game. You got, everything from media people to ball boys to refs to concession workers to ticketing and all that good stuff. You got a lot of moving pieces to an NFL season. So to get a couple of dry runs in there, before the action's really beginning and the things count, I think is a huge plus for anybody involved. But ultimately, it is practice. The game itself is a practice game to just kind of get your rhythm going, and then also a chance to see some young guys, and that's exactly what we're gonna be doing here. So we're gonna be doing a what to expect and a who to watch for, okay? I've got a bunch of names on the who to watch for. I'm going to miss people that are going to light it up this Saturday. We'll hit those guys next week for sure. But what to expect? A whole lot of Ty Simpson, all right? Bennett may not even play in preseason. Jimmy hadn't been playing preseason, which is a clear indicator that Stetson might already be QB2. He might already be locked into that. I think that I've thought that since the drafting of Ty Simpson. Likely will be QB2 all season. That's Stetson Bennett. And there's zero indication on Simpson and him surpassing Stetson Bennett. And I mean, Ty was drafted not to play this year or be backup this year, if we're being real. That's not what he was drafted for. He was not drafted to be QB2. Stetson was always on pace to be QB2 eventually, even if it is just for this one season. That's totally reasonable. Ty was brought in for the future and has 15 career college starts. This entire season is a developmental year for Ty. Preseason will be great reps for the kid, obviously, but have no expectations on Simpson becoming QB2. And I see a lot of people say that Ty Simpson will eventually take over QB2 mid-season. I actually think that that's less likely. I think that the more we go into the season, the less likely it is for him to bump up to QB2. And I'll tell you why. It's because as you get closer to the end of the season, games start meaning maybe a little bit more. So on the off chance that something happens to 9, then we need to make sure that we have an experienced guy in there. And I think that in a season like this where we're very Super Bowl or bust, I understand we drafted Ty Simpson to be our quarterback at some point. This is not the year for him to be our quarterback. That was basically a free pick from the Falcons. So I don't think we should see it as a wasted pick, even if he doesn't play this year at all or next year at all. We should not see that as a wasted pick. That was basically the Atlanta Falcons being on the board, being like, hey, y'all want Ty Simpson? You don't have to give us anything. And we're like, yeah, sure. Screw it. Hell yeah. Bring them on in. That's kind of what it was, really. But I would think that, we're not going to see Ty Simpson be QB2 versus Seattle while Stetson Bennett is the emergency third. I just don't think that's going to happen because we need that experience in there. And say what you need to about Stetson Bennett. Everybody seems to have their opinions, but ultimately, he's been in this team for a little while now. He's got a good grasp of our offense. He's got a good grasp of the team. Sean knows him well. He knows what he's good at, what he needs to work on, what he can call in a game. So he should be QB2, man. Stetson Bennett should be QB2. Ty Simpson, we'll worry about him in the future, man. We could basically just ignore Ty Simpson's existence once week 1 starts. Honestly, just I know we're going to hear about it, but we don't need to because it's fine. We're going to be okay. And if Ty Simpson comes in 3 years and just starts lighting it up, no one's going to be mad about it. I firmly believe that. And then also, today, it's the 12th of August as date of recording here. And Ty Simpson has not even played in a preseason game. So the fact, no matter how he looks on Saturday, I don't care. He's just learning, man. He's just practicing. If he looks absolutely awful out there, it's like, well, that sucked, but hey, now he's got some bad tape to look at. Now he knows where to improve. Whole bunch of tape on what to improve on. You know what I mean? So we got that going for us, but we can ignore that he exists just for now. Okay. Let's see here. I lost my list here. So another thing on what to expect, plays that just don't make sense. All right. Plays that you're just like, what are we doing? It's practice, man. It's practice. We talking about practice. I know that's like a thing we all hammer during preseason quite a bit. I've got that one on standby, but preseason is televised practice with strict timing rules and fans in the stands. It's a way to process, to get the process going, get your reps in. And that, like I said, is for everybody. Ticketing, concessions, refs, TV broadcasts, all that business, all right? So the Rams usually take a situational approach to the preseason, and it doesn't usually include a make sure you win kind of mindset, okay? We're just trying to get some good looks in good situations. We're trying to get specific looks in specific situations, and the game will dictate that. If we, start the game, second play is 2nd and 18 for Ty Simpson, it's like, okay, let's see how you handle this, man. It's fine if you don't, because you come back to the sideline, we'll talk about what happened, and we go back out there for the next drive and correct it. But, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine. Let's see here. I imagine that the defensive strategy will kind of be confusing to watch at some points because I do think it'll be pretty man-heavy for this game, if I had to guess. I don't know that for sure or anything, but if I had to guess, and that's because we need to evaluate some of our depth pieces for the cornerback room. We obviously know that Duffman and J. Watt are going to be top dogs, and then Forbes probably going to be CB3, but the depth below that kind of wide open, and I think that there's a lot of space for some guys to show off and do some things, especially with guys like Kobe Durant, Darius Williams, those guys gone now. So there is some openings here in the team where somebody needs to just, or can, show up big. What if it's a Josh Wallace or something like that just comes in and is absolutely just kicking butt cheeks, and then now we have a guy where we're like, hey, maybe this guy should be CB3, or hey, when this guy's on the field, it's fine. We're not worried about it. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of nervous plays last year coming from the secondary. Let's see. We got possible guest appearances for play calling. I would imagine that's a realistic thing. It's not uncommon to have guest appearances when you're doing preseason games for the Rams. We have assistant head coach Cliff Kingsbury. I imagine that he'll get one. Also, new OC Nate Scheelhaase. I do believe that he'll get one as well. I'm not sure if Sean McVay will just take off all the preseason and just kind of hang out in the booth or something like that. I love the conversations that we get on TV when he does that, but I'm not sure if that's what we're going to see. It could be Shula getting one, it could be Scheelhaase, and then Kingsbury getting, like, they could split all of those to the assistant head coach, DC, and OC. But that's not out of the realm of possibilities that we get those guys out there kind of to help them out. Sean gets to kind of just watch how they handle a game, gets to kind of gauge trust on certain things and situations, gets to just kind of watch them on the sideline. And like I said, when he's not calling it, he's usually up in the booth, which I actually like. Hey, back out of there, man. You don't need to be hovering and stuff like that. If you're going to give somebody a head coaching gig for the day, give them the head coaching gig for the day, man. Just kind of let them do their thing. And I think Sean does a great job at that. Some names we are going to watch. Who to watch? Ty Simpson, quarterback Ty Simpson, of course, going to be on this one. Going to be playing most, if not all, of the game. I do imagine that he'll be playing all of it. I just feel like that's going to happen here, and I do think that is a huge indicator that Stet Benatar, that he's going to be QB2. But I know we'll overreact, but it's not necessary. I promise. It's not necessary to overreact to anything that Ty Simpson does, good or bad. Okay, it's fine. We've already gotten the Carson Beck overreactions. People are like, damn, this guy's pretty killer. And it's like, I mean, he's a quarterback. He did quarterback things in the Hall of Fame game where you have like 8 plays you can call and a defense full of guys who are not going to make teams. You know what I mean? So there's that part. So again, we just don't need to overreact to it. But the difference between what Ty looks like on Saturday and what he'll looks like when we need him, when it's time for him to actually start, is really all that matters. That gap in there is the difference. And it's fine. You don't need to be, ready to rock and roll right now, Ty. Take your time. Learn the game, learn our team, learn the offense, learn from 9. And then when it's your time, man, it's your time. But I think it's going to be okay. Next up, I'm going to go with Konate Mumpfield and CJ Daniels. And there's kind of a reason for that. So the number of reps a guy gets in preseason can tell us a lot. And I think guys who don't touch the field a lot in preseason historically have been contributors in the regular season for the Rams under Sean McVay. In this situation, if Mump isn't getting a ton of action, I expect him to be involved in the offense come week 1. Same for CJ, but more for Mump, okay? CJ's preseason usage won't tell us as much as Mump's because he's a rookie. Reps are good. Live reps are good, man, so get on out there. They also lost their best corners. They're on our team now, so you're playing against what could have been their best corners every day in practice. So go beat up on their backup guys, and it'll be good news. But the reason that I have both of them in there is because I like both of them quite a bit. I think that they are both extremely talented players. Mump, coming into year 2, I'm really curious to see his usage in preseason. CJ, I'm curious because his usage isn't necessarily an indicator, but how freaking good he is might be. Because what if he's out here just destroying it? But then we have to do the thing where we're like, hold on, Nelson Spruce, Lance McCutcheon, let's chill out kind of thing. And I know that can happen too. CJ Daniels, I don't know if he fits into that category. Time will tell. We don't have that answer right now. Next up, I'll go A.J. Arcuri, the other offensive tackle A.J. High up on the replacement charts for the offensive line, along with David Quesenberry, of course, but could be a guy who actually gets snaps in the regular season if not cool stuff happens, okay? We don't want to see Arcuri and Quesenberry in the regular season, but it's a pretty violent sport if y'all haven't watched, and it's pretty aggressive and stuff. Things happen. Sometimes backups need to come in. So keep your eyes on A.J. Arcuri. for how he's just performing out there, man. Keegan Trost. Yes, we've all got our own ways to pronounce this name, apparently, but I work with somebody adjacently, not like in my office or anything like that, adjacently that has the same name, and he said Trost. So I was like, got it. I'm gonna park that one in here somewhere, you know? So we've all got our twist on his name, but I'm gonna say Trost from here on out. We'll see. We'll see how if we get I lost access to the pronunciation guide, actually. They don't let me see that. So somebody who does may tell me. But I expect the rookie to get plenty of preseason action. I actually wouldn't be surprised here to see Trost get basically damn near the whole game. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that a guy like Ty Simpson is more realistic to get the full game, but Trost is definitely up there. Moving over to the other side, Emmanuel Forbes. Lots of opinions on Forbes right now online, but as he drops down the depth chart, I think his value increases tremendously. As a CB1, it's okay. You know, it's like I'm maybe nervous when we're playing really good wide receivers, but there's some teams out there that don't have the best stable sitting over there on the sideline. So I would say for Emmanuel Forbes, him going from CB1 down to CB3 or potentially 4, we'll kind of see where he slips in. I think that just means now he's going to outperform his depth position. I think we're going to look at Forbes and being a CB3, and I think this is where a lot of people are going to get caught up, is people are going to compare Forbes to what he did last year as a CB1. They're going to look at total numbers and stuff like that and say he got worse. He didn't do as good of a job. What I think is more realistic to evaluate on the situation is that his numbers may go down, his reps may go down, but I think that the people he will be playing directly against, the people he will be responsible for, they're not as good as they were last year for him. So I think he's going to shine, and I think he's going to do phenomenal this year. Not a ton. I don't want to say. I don't even want to say that. It just feels like there's wild opinions about Emmanuel Forbes, and they range from everywhere. From I've seen people say like, did we really need McDuffie and Watson? We have Forbes, and he's really good. All the way down to, why is this guy still on my football team? So wherever you land on that spectrum, just know that I think that Forbes is going to do a really good job this year. Next up, Tyler Davis, one of those Joe unsung heroes and a guy more talented than he gets credit for. 90 against backup linemen should be fun to watch, and it's not all about stats. I think that's important to kind of hammer in the preseason game, that stats are not the storyteller. The tape is the storyteller. You got to check out what happened there, because last year we have a billion plays where you can see BY, Kobe Turner, Jared Verse just absolutely embarrassing some offensive linemen, but the ball's out. So it's like, well, it didn't turn into a sack or anything, or even a presh because quarterback got the ball out. But that move was insane. So use your eyes, not necessarily watching box scores and stuff like that. If you actually watch what happens out there, Tyler Davis is a friggin' monster. So I'm excited for him this year. I think that he's in a tough position to be playing in right now, because some decisions are going to need to be made, I think, at some point here soon. But Tyler Davis, I do think, is one of those guys that's going to be, I don't want to say breaking out, but a little bit more talked about this season. Next up, Bill Norton. I'm going to go with Bill Norton here. This is one of the names brought to us out of Tuna's camp coverage. A bit of an under-the-radar name who seems to have taken the right approach this offseason. He was with the Rams last year, so it does seem like he took the offseason to get better at football. And hell yeah, dude, because that's what we do here. And if he can come in and be awesome, I mean, Bill Norton, he seems strong. He seems like he uses his leverage well, and we'll see how that looks on a football field this coming Saturday for sure. Next up, Tim Keenan, the third rookie who may have the makings to be pretty awesome. All right, I'm liking this dude. Probably won't get a ton of reps this year, but after AD retires, then he'll get into that rotation nicely. Next up, Cam Lampkin, corner, is looked good the last few years. Honestly, he's been a guy that has kind of been on the radar of a bunch of media people like myself for a little bit now. We just haven't really had a spot for him to shine, and he is absolutely one of those guys who may slip into that CB3, CB4 kind of range and maybe get some reps in there. But he's kind of been like on the brink of a breakout for a little bit now, and this might be it. It might not be, in fairness, but it might be it, okay? Also sticking in the cornerback room, we're going to go to Josh Wallace, a guy who's gotten regular season play, will likely stand out in a secondary that will not feature any starters. This kid's actually really good. I think that Josh Wallace is one of those guys that doesn't get enough credit for what he brings to the table. And I do think that preseason is going to be very important for him because it's also one of those things where on a team like the Rams, you have to do some pretty sick stuff in preseason to turn some heads because we got our starters set up and we've got most of our backups set as well. So in order for you to come in, even as a guy we know, Josh Wallace, Cam Lampkin, Bill Norton, Tyler Davis, stuff like that, you got to really stand out to not just make the team, because a lot of these guys will. You got to only get 53, though. So a lot of these guys are leaving. But to actually make it onto the football field on game day, instead of just being one of the 53, being, active on game day, that's absolutely huge. So if these guys can do something big now and it makes the coaching staff say like, damn, do we really need this guy out there though? Come regular season. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. I think that these guys have the ability to splash and to show off and do some pretty cool things this year. So I think it starts in preseason, obviously. We probably won't get a lot of them no matter what. In fact, all of the names that I mentioned, we probably won't get a lot of this season outside of maybe Mumpfield, Tyler Davis, Emmanuel Forbes. Those three names, I think, do get involved, but those are not starters. So they are guys who are going to come in and fill in when someone needs a breather or something like that. So there's a lot of names to keep our eyes on, but this is the best part, though, is that we'll like I said, we'll hit on the guys that do pop because I obviously didn't talk about that many dudes here. But the guys who do show up on Saturday real big, we'll talk about them. And I don't care who it is. I don't care. I just want people wearing Rams uniforms to kick ass. I don't care who it is. If you're wearing a Rams uniform, dude, I want you to school that dude across from you. All right. That's it. That's why I'm not. That's my fantasy football mindset coming out for you. I don't care who's scoring. I just want the Rams to win. Care about fantasy football? Why would I care about fantasy football? I don't care if it's Puka, Devontae, Mump, CJ, Colby, Tyler. I don't care. Just somebody catch the damn ball. Score 6. It all counts the same. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it. But this is going to be a fun preseason, man. I can just feel it. By the way, next week, before we get into our fan quesos here, next week, Rams will be doing a joint practice against the Saints ahead of their matchup with the Saints on Saturday. We will, of course, be talking about, what we saw from the Chiefs and then talking about what to watch for in the Saints game, which we may get some stuff to talk about after this Saturday. So that'll be good stuff. And the Rams will end their preseason slate at SoFi, but is at the Chargers before packing their bags for Australia. Rams fans, we made it. Congratulations. Or my Rocky shirt to celebrate. I don't know what that means. So we'll take a quick break here, and on the other side, we will get into your fan quesos. So stick around. It is Ram Showcase. Welcome back in. This is Ram Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags. I just startled Carl, and he is now leaving the frame. Well, he was not in the frame, but you get it. All right, Fan Quesos, this is where I answer your Rams-related questions. You can drop those to me just about any time, especially now that we're in regular season mode where we are doing weekly episodes. You just fire them off to me. I like to screenshot and then just keep them all in a folder. Or I do make a post on the Ram Showcase Facebook page. You can comment there. I also share that to my own personal Facebook page. You can comment there. And then we also on YouTube have a section where you can, we do a post on YouTube. You can leave them there. That's where I get the most of them. So that's a typical spot for me to pick and to search for. But of course, like I said, Facebook as well. These first few are coming from the Ram Showcase Facebook page. First one here coming from Farbode, back in action on the Fan Quesos. He said, hey, you want to say appreciate you answering my questions last time around? Hell yes, dude. But let's see. This comment brought up a whole conversation at work today. It says, I want to also let you know that if you ever listen to Bustin' with the Boys, that Taylor Lewan sounds very similar to you. And I swear I thought it was you for a second, had to double check I put on the right pod. I get confused for Taylor Lewan very often. All the time, actually, man. No, that's hilarious. We pulled up some clips of Taylor Lewan, and what the comment was like, I don't know if the tone is necessarily there, but the inflections are there. So I guess I do speak like Taylor Lewan. I think that I do sound like him, but only when my voice is weak. And like right now, I went to school for media stuff. And so like I do like vocal stuff before I start talking. So when I'm doing a show, typically that's not the case, that it's like feeling weak. But there's a lot of times at work that I'll feel it. I'll be like talking to coworkers like that. It's like, my voice just feels like I've got no power to it. You know what I mean? It feels like I'm forcing it. And that's how I heard Taylor Lewan, is it feels like it's when I'm having a hard time. So maybe Taylor, hit me up, man. I got some vocal exercises for you. You beef that thing up a little bit, you know? Not to say I just have like this killer voice or anything like that. I don't dislike my voice, and I've actually always been a fan of it, thankfully, because most people don't like theirs, but I've always liked mine. But I thought that was a really interesting comment. That actually took like 20 minutes out of my workday today, as we were like, hold on a second, do I? Like, you know, and so we were sharing clips of Taylor Lewan, and then myself, I was like mimicking him, you know, when he would say something and I would say it, and it's like, yeah, he does sound, you know, so that was pretty fun, man. I appreciate that. You helped me blow off work for about 20 minutes today. Nice. All right. It says, with that said, are you ready for the Ty Simpson CJ Daniels show on Saturday? Simpson's about to have 400 plus yards. CJ getting half of those yards. Only semi-joking. I don't. First of all, no, you're not. Farbo, you're fine. Okay, you're absolutely right. I think it would be so cool to see, because like we got the Carson Beck stuff where like these Cardinals fans were like, whoa, look at friggin' this guy. Look, like he's throwing it all over. It's like, okay, but I mean, this is like the third quarterback taken. You know, what if Fernando and Ty just light it up? And it's like, yeah, that's why you weren't picked with us, dog. Like, what do you? You're back there, man. Like we're the top dogs here. So like, it's totally a realistic option. And I think that CJ Daniels is probably going to do at least one thing on Saturday that we're like, damn, you know? And that's all I want. I just want a couple of dams this Saturday. That's my favorite thing about preseason. Just a few of those. And then you get to just be excited, man. Just be excited for the regular season when you're, sixth guy on the depth charts doing sick things. You could be like, oh man, this is going to get fun, you know? So yeah, if CJ's killing people, Puka and Tay are about to feast, bro. It's good stuff. Next one here from Farbode says, and besides CJ and Simpson, what other key players are you expecting to show out on Saturday to keep our eyes on? I'm particularly stoked to see some of the DBs that have been stepping up in camp. Should be a great game. I absolutely agree. It's the first time we've seen Rams in action, on a football field since we lost to the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game, which was one of those moments, man, where it's like I felt like we were the better football team. I really do. I felt like that in Philly as well, the year before. But yeah, this is the first time we actually get to see some action of our boys, when, it means a little bit. It's obviously a practice game, but when it means a little something out there. This also is the first time we get to see the new uniforms on field, and I think that's really exciting. We get to see the whites out in Kansas City, as this is a road game. So I think that's pretty cool that we'll get to see that. I'm really interested to see how like the horn curl looks and pops on TV. I like that kind of stuff. I know not everybody is into that. I don't dog on the uniforms or the Rams or the helmets or the this, the that, whatever, because I feel like people are always complaining about uniforms. I feel like the Rams gave us exactly what we asked for, but because they didn't change the horn, everybody's like, sucks. And it's like, I think this is the best horn we've had, actually. I think that this is the best one. So I actually really liked that we didn't switch it up for the white uniforms or even for the throwbacks, the yellows. So I'm a big fan of that aspect of it. But yeah, I'm really excited to see all that action. But as far as guys that we're excited to see, I'm very interested in the secondary, of course. I'm very interested in some of the pass rushers, some of the depth guys, and I'm thinking like Josiah Stewart and stuff like that. I'm excited to see those guys and see kind of how their progression is going, because that's the thing is that, we don't get to see a lot of the progression. The difference in how guys were playing in Seattle compared to how they will be playing in this game or in this season is different, and it should be different. If you're the same exact player from last year, what the hell were you doing, dude? You should be getting better every single year. Are you the same exact employee that you were at your job 1 year ago? Well, then you're not doing a good job. Unless you have a job where it's like, hey, you do this and do not change it. That's the only way you're allowed to do that, okay? But I think we should all be getting better. I feel like my show should be getting better. Me as a person should be getting better, just like these players on the football field. So I think it's totally reasonable that they'll look a little bit different this year. And also, we don't want it to happen, but some people get worse. Some people get worse, okay? So hopefully we don't have anybody that's coming in, they're flying high last year and they're like, dude, I'm killing this. I am so good at football. And then they come in this year and it sucks. Like, what if Matthew Stafford was like, damn, do I'm MVP? Bro, hell yeah, I can start practicing. It's like, hold on. Not like that. So, but yeah, I'm excited there's just too many people, man. Like, I'm excited to see the depth on the offensive line. We may need some of them at some point. I'm excited to see the rookies. I'm excited to see, CJ, Trost, Keenan. I'm excited for those guys. I think that'll be fun. I'm excited to see some of our new additions. If like Grant Stewart's out there, I'm excited to see him. Obviously Myles Garrett and Trent and Jay Watt are not going to be, playing, but I'm pumped for them, but well, not yet. Yeah. So hard question because it's all of them, dude. It's is that how I can answer that question? Who am I excited to watch? The Rams. That's what I'm excited to watch. Next one here, come from the Facebook page. Tyler says, what's your guess on Donald's return? I'm thinking it's 95%. Hopefully the end of this week. And who do you think will be our wide receiver 3? Two-part question here. I commented back to him and said, I will answer this, but I'm at 99%. For a few reasons, because obviously nothing's official yet, and it's totally possible that he's like, I wanted to, mentally I'm there, but I don't think I can be the same guy. I'll just enjoy the Hall of Fame in a couple of years. That's totally reasonable. But I'm saying 99 because I really feel so confident that he's coming back. And it does feel like it'll be by this week. Maybe by the time you see this, Aaron Donald's already back to being a Ram, and that's exciting as hell. So 2 scenarios. If you're watching this and Aaron Donald's not yet back, well, then this is my reaction. What are you doing, AD? What are you doing? And then if you see this and Aaron Donald is back, well, then this is my reaction. Oh, yeah. Sorry about your quarterbacks, dude. Boom. So, yeah. And who do I think would be wide receiver 3? I'm going to go Mump. I really do think that Mump and Witt are going to probably split the large majority of that. Witt's for sure going to be pretty heavily involved. But I'm really excited to see for Jordan Willingham. People mess that up all the time, dude. Whittingham, I don't know. It's Wellington, I've heard. It's like, guys, just read it. Just read the name. Well, what do you do? Just read it. All the letters are there, man. Anyway, I do think that I'm excited to see him, to see what that progression looks like this year. We've seen it be pretty 90 degrees on the maybe 92, 93 degrees on the upwards trajectory of one Jordan Whittington. But I think that ultimately I'm excited to see if that bar is going to start, creeping more upwards, man. Shoot that bad boy straight into the friggin' sky, man. Let's get good at football, Jay Witt. Not that you're bad at football. I just want you to be better at football. It's hard, too, to be a wide receiver that's in the room with Tay and Puka, because it's like, you can be real good. But, my car is pretty nice. But if I pull up next to a Ferrari, you're going to be like, look at this bonehead in this guy. You know what I mean? But if I pull up next to just other cars that are like mine, you'll be like, damn, that one's actually kind of nice. I like to take care of my car. It's clean. It's nice and stuff. But, yeah, it's like, you pull up next to, some Lambo or something like that. I can't rev my Honda and be like, hell yeah, dude. People will be like, get out of here, dork. So there's that aspect of it too in our wide receiver room where it's like, you can be good, but you're sitting next to a Ferrari and a Lambo, man. It's like, you can be sick, but you don't look sick next to those guys. You know what I mean? So maybe they're better than we think. Maybe. So yeah, that's my answer to that one. Let's see here. Oh, this other question is, It's trash talk amongst homies. So that's fun. You guys are fun. Shout out Ryan. Shout out Shannon. You guys are cool. Let's head over to the YouTube channel here. Let me see if there's one I want to end on. I'll end on that one because I don't really have a good answer for it yet, so I'm going to think about it as I go. I think that's reasonable. It was, I think, the first question added into the YouTube channel as well. So we're going to go down this list here. Some bangers in here too, man, from some absolute killer people and some longtime followers and just champions all up and down this thread. Not that there weren't champions on Facebook, but Rams House. Whose house? Coming in with the question here. If you had to pick one player to keep whose contract is up after this year, who do you pick and why? My options are Steve Avila, Kobe Turner, and Byron Young. This is a tough one because I definitely like all three of these guys quite a bit. I am going to pick Kobe Turner. I think that Kobe Turner is... It's hard to say that he's the best of those three because I think that they're very good. Byron Young is insane. I think he's so much better than people give him credit for. It's crazy. I almost feel too, and maybe I'm alone here. Sidebar, maybe I'm alone here, but I feel like when I say Byron Young, I have to like mention what he does. Like he's like, oh, he's a pass rusher for the Rams. I feel like other people don't know him. I feel like only Rams fans know who he is. He's on the top 100. People know who he is, but there's some kind of block in my brain where when I talk about Byron Young, I feel like I need to be clear on who he is. What is that? Is that me? Am I the problem? Don't answer that, actually. But Byron Young, he's killer, man. I do not want to lose BY in any capacity. Steve also. I think Steve's great. I don't want to lose him. I think that he has room to get a little bit better, but he's a damn good football player, man. But I'm going to go with Kobe Turner because I think that he would be the hardest to replace of these options. I think that Steve, you can go get a really good left guard, probably somebody out there who's willing to come play for a damn good football team and will do a damn good football job. You know what I mean? And then Byron Young, I've talked about this before. This is actually, I kind of piggybacked the story or thought process, I guess, that Colin Cowherd had, where he was like, pass rushers don't win you Super Bowls. They can certainly make you a good football team, but all the best pass rushers in the NFL are not winning Super Bowls. And he mentioned, Garrett at the time, Parsons, Bosa, all these guys where it's like they're on good teams and they do great and they help their football team, but not enough to push them over to the top to win a championship because it's really easy to avoid an edge rusher. You can game plan it where an edge rusher can kind of just be taken out of the game. So and there's also a lot of really, really good ones, man. I think that to get a really good interior defensive tackle, you've got like 5 or 6 in the league and those guys make money. Edge rushers, sure, they make money, but there's a lot more of them out there and good ones in college too. So if BY were to leave, I do think the Rams would fill that hole. And it could be on our roster already. It could be Josiah Stewart that's already ready to rock and roll and just kill it in that spot. You know what I mean? But I think that Kobe would be the hardest one to replace out of these. So that's why I'm going Kobe. Next up here, we're going to go Payo time. Shout out Payo time. Make sure you follow Rams Showcase, by the way. It's at Rams House 102. Rams House. You can also follow Rams Showcase. You don't have to unfollow Rams Showcase because you're following Rams House, But Rams House 102, make sure you check him out. Incredible content, as well as Payo Time at Payo Time Rams YT. You can check him out on YouTube there. But killer shows. I'm pretty sure he's doing the watch parties this year, or at least some. I know he won't be in week 2 or 3. He's going to be with me. I'm so fired up about that. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but I'm going to tell you guys anyway. Me, Rams House, Payo Time. We're going. So we got some incredible human beings who are just the coolest people ever. We're going to go hang out with in LA week 2. And then Tuna is coming out here to Colorado week 3. So we check out the Rams take on the Denver Broncos, which is going to be so fun. So 2 weeks in a row, I know he won't be doing his watch parties. Unless he's doing it right next to me. It was like kind of pop into frame. We'll see. Anyway, Payo times. The situation. You get a text from Aaron Donald. Love it. Already on board. He's got my number. I'm sending him memes. We're good to go. Anyway, saying he will only come back if you can interview Erica for 30 minutes. What questions would you ask her about AD's comeback? Love the show. Love your show. Thank you, man. This is a really cool question because I would love to talk to Erica. In fact, of the wives of Rams players, Erica, I hate that I forget names, but it's also like, maybe that's okay that I forget some wives' names of Rams players because I have a problem. It's a weird addiction to the Rams. But I think that like Kobe's wife, Kobe Turner, I think that she would be a great conversation. The stuff that with like behind the grind and stuff like that when they went back, like they were like, she's just super cool. He's great. They're phenomenal humans, man. That's a good one. Anyway, that's not your question. So to interview Erica for 30 minutes, what would I ask? I would ask her reaction to first the retirement. Did she know it was coming? And then now of like what he was playing for so long, had the kids and all that stuff, and now he's home. So like what's the major changes that happened after Aaron decided to retire and then be at home? Like what's that looked like? Has it been a hard transition? Obviously there's people like want your spouse to be around you and stuff like that, but there's also like that adjustment period. I'm in Colorado Springs, so we're a big military town. And that's a weird thing that people don't think about is when you're deployed doing military things and you come back, that's when people fight the most. That's when couples are fighting because wives get into a rhythm at home. They're doing everything. They're taking kids to school and running the whole household and stuff like that. Now there's another human being trying to do stuff and they're a lot more aggressive than they were maybe. Maybe. I don't want to put that in everybody, but and just like involved in trying to do things and stuff like that. And it's a hard change. So I know that's when a lot of fights happen and stuff like that for couples in military. But I would ask that of like, was it weird to have him around now all of a sudden? And now he's just here and helping and around and you guys are going to do things. Like, how was that transition? And then I would ask about, were there any indicators that he was eyeing a return to football? I think if the contingency here is or not contingency, but if like the deal is that he'll come back if I interview his wife, that's for sure what I'm ending on is like, were there any indicators of a return, and are you excited about it specifically? Not excited for him or excited for him to get back to football or anything, any emotion for him. Are you excited? Are you excited to get back into being an NFL wife? And to go to games and do all this crazy stuff and win a Super Bowl, like I would ask her that because I think that's a very interesting little sidebar of the marriage aspect of the NFL. The only wife that I ever actually like spoke to for the NFL was Kira, Chase Reynolds' wife. Just a quick conversation, and it wasn't any of these questions. It was like, so what is it like? Like that would have been weird, you know what I mean? But that's so funny to think about. Anyway, yeah, so I think that's a really fun question to ask. What was it? Football in Hollywood was the show. It was like a TLC show when the Rams first returned to LA. It's the only time I would watch some reality TV like that. But I remember they were all in a group. This is just a story about Chase Reynolds now. But they were all in a group and they were like agreeing on something. And then Chase, I still do this to my friends to this day after I laughed so hard at Chase Reynolds. They're in a group. I think it was like, oh man, I'm going to blank on too many names. I think Marquis Christian was there. Yeah. 2016 Rams. So it's been a bit, you know what I mean? But they were in a circle. They agreed on something and Chase Reynolds just puts his fist in the middle and goes, fire. I laughed so hard. And I legitimately do that to my friends to this day. If we agree on something, I will throw my fist into the middle and say fire. Fire! That's so good. So good. Chase Reynolds, shout out, dude. Shout out. All right. I don't want to take all your time telling Chase Reynolds stories. That's not what you're here for. We're getting into preseason, okay? Anyway, next up here from Rams House. Whose house? If the 2022 Rams stayed healthy, how many wins do you think they would get and how far do we make it? People forget that the Rams were in every game down to the end with all those injuries. Dude, seriously. That was the season of heartbreak, man, because it was like almost every game was like, we freaking hurt them, man. And then you had like like the game in Green Bay that I was at. Baker Mayfield threw his 100th career touchdown pass to Tyler Higbee, who came to the Rams, all-time leading touchdown scorer for tight ends in franchise history. Very exciting stuff. That was a very close game. We could have won that game. You know what I mean? And then it's like I think it's the following week. Yeah, following week, destroy the Denver Broncos on Christmas, 52 to friggin' 10 or something like that. Just beat the hell out of them, man. It was absolutely awesome. You get before the Packers game, you get the Raiders come back, the 98-yard drive by Baker, which I watched that drive and it still just doesn't seem right. You know, so there's something about that drive where it's like, oh, we had the football gods on our side for that one, man. Like there was something different going on there. Like they got a pick on us, but it was called back. PI. Ben Skoranek makes a Puka Nacua-esque catch over a defender, and it's like, what? Like that guy? The guy who gave an interception to the Bengals in the Super Bowl just made it the coolest catch of the friggin' season? Are you kidding me? Stuff like that, man. So that was just one of those where, yeah, we were right there, man. That team could have been so good. One of the teams that as you look in preseason, you're like, ooh, this is a fire team. And it just didn't work out. So that's crazy. So if the Rams stayed healthy, you said how many wins? I'm ballpark. I'm like, I'll say 12 because we were in so many games, dude. 7 more dubs in that season. I think that's real. Payo time. I've been really enjoying hearing Rams content creators and media talk about underrated Rams players the past few weeks. Chris Shula recently talked about the growth in Omar Spates. Do you think he is one of the Rams getting lost in the stars? It's a really cool question. I really like the way you worded that too, Payo. Yeah, I do, man. I think that a lot of people are really down on Bromar Spates. I'm not really sure why, I guess. He's not a superstar. Not right now. He might be at some point. He may never turn into that. That's okay. You can't have just all superstars. Not everybody in the world is a superstar. You know what I mean? Some people are just really good football players who can make it as starters and then just do a good job. You know what I mean? Like that's okay. That's not a bad thing to not just be a Hall of Famer. That's fine. But Omar, I just think he gets too much pressure on him, honestly. But yeah, Omar is one of those guys. I like Omar a lot, actually. I think that Omar is a pretty good player. But we got to see it all kind of come together consistently because there's a lot of times in the run where he kind of just gets, lost in the pile and stuff like that. Then other people are kind of just making plays and stuff. So I mean, obviously taking up blockers is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but when you and 2 others are getting, completely washed out, and then you're getting, Quentin Lake needing to come down to make a play. I mean, obviously you don't want that. So I think that Omar Spates is a really good watch for this year. Another guy where you can see if he's getting preseason reps, maybe we need to look at what's going on with Bromar. But if he's not getting preseason reps, then I think that's a very good notch in the column for Shula and the positivity on Omar. I think that's how I wanted to word that. That makes sense. This next one here coming from Darius. This says, how do you feel about Xavier Smith's chances at being wide receiver 3? Last year, he showed more promise and production at receiver than punt returner. I think he should focus on that instead of special teams. Really interesting take there because I don't necessarily disagree, but I also don't fully agree because I think that you can do both and be good at both. And actively get better at both. It's not that, instead of taking a punt return, you're running a route or something like that. I think that you can realistically work on and get better at both. I think that he definitely showed a lot of strides in the offense last year for sure. Getting him more involved, I think was very solid. So Xavier, I mean, I think he's good. I think he's really good. I think he's kind of in that shuffle with Jay Witt, with Mump, he's in that kind of pocket. So we're just looking for somebody to shine, and it absolutely could be Xavier. And I know some fans are down on Xavier now because of one bad play that he had last year. Literally the one time he actually messed up last year. I understand it was in the biggest possible moment for that to happen and the worst possible timing for that to happen. But it was his one mistake, you know what I mean? And I would venture to guess, I don't know him personally. Tuna knows him a little bit better than I do. He's done some interviews and stuff, but I would venture to say that we have not been as nearly as hard on him as himself. I would imagine that he is losing his mind with just being upset about all this. So that's kind of where I'm at with it all. I don't feel the need to trash players because I'm so far from perfect. I can imagine if I made a mistake at work and then just everybody that's ever heard of my name is like, get this bum out of here. I'd be like, damn, bro. So that's tough, man. That's tough, especially coming from your own fan base. So I do agree that I think he's been getting better on offense, but I don't necessarily think we should remove him from special teams quite yet. Rams house, whose house? I know we often discuss the big gold or the golden era of Rams football. It probably won't get any better than we have it right now in this stretch. Do you ever think about the possibility of this Rams team never being good again? Hear me out. We don't often know the last time a team will be considered good or a contender. Things could happen, could be so good and then abruptly be terrible for decades. You could say that this about a certain position groups or an entire team and organization. I'm not saying it will happen, but there's a chance that the Rams will be at a bottom 5 team for 2 decades in just a few years. Not impossible. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that in a decade or so, this Rams team is in the conversation with the Browns, Jets, Cards, etc. And we'll never see a quarterback like Matthew Stafford ever again. That I do believe. I'm not saying all this to assume the doom is coming. I'm just mentioning this to help us all enjoy how good we have it now. I realize people understand how good we have it now, but just imagine these are the last few years of really good Rams football before it all goes away. Just soak it up right now because we may never know when the last good year is for this team. I love that. It's kind of a sentiment that I hammer consistently. That it's that quote from The Office. I wish there was a way to know we were in the good times before we left them. We're in them right now, Rams fans. In fact, we're in the best times. These are the days we are going to talk about for many, many years. You young fans out there, anybody in the teens maybe you're younger than that, maybe even low 20s, something. You're going to be talking about, man, I remember watching Matthew Stafford play. I remember watching Puka Nacua when he was a rookie. He came in first game and was phenomenal. Then we added Devontae Adams because we weren't good enough yet. Then we brought in Myles Garrett, and Aaron Donald decided he wanted to return for one more. We traded for Trent McDuffie. We drafted Ty Simpson. We didn't even know if he was going to be good or not yet. That's where we were at, man. That's what we're going to be talking about. And that's crazy. We're going to be looking at this roster years from now going like, damn, bro, we even had Konate Mumpfield on that team. Damn, bro, Forbes was there. Quentin Lake, Cam Kinchins was on that team too. Damn, dude, that roster was loaded. Cliff Kingsbury was the assistant head coach with Chris Shula as DC and Shieldhouse as OC. Who knows what those guys are going to do? We could really be looking at this year being like, oh my gosh, look at that squad. Incredible. What if Stetson Bennett leaves us after this year and goes and plays great football for the Jets or something and pulls them out of obscurity? And we're like, damn, bro, he was our backup, man. We didn't even really want him because we didn't feel like we needed him. So yeah, I'm fully with it. I do think that we need to be taking advantage of this. And that's also where I guess my comments come from, like a little hesitancy to start this season. Cause like, what if last year was the last good one, man? You know what I mean? Like what if it's already over? I don't really think that, but like, you're absolutely right. We could win the Super Bowl this year and then never see it again in our lifetimes. Totally realistic. My dad's a Chargers fan. He's never seen a Super Bowl win. He's 59. Never seen his team win a Super Bowl. Watch the team make one and get smoked by the 49ers, like 55-10 or something like that. You never know. Next one here, coming also from Rams House. I'm seeing a reply here. I'm going to check that out. It says, will we see Nate Landman return to form this season? Do you agree that it felt like he kind of disappeared in the second half of the season? I guess the entire defense sort of disappeared too. I do think that it was the defense, not necessarily just Landman. As a green dot captain, though, I do think that there's a little bit more pressure on Nate Landman than there maybe is right now. But I do think that he kind of comes back a little bit more to that dominance that we saw early season. I think that too, when you get a situation where the, teams start kind of figuring you out, and then they kind of know that's like, dude, they're just trying to you're just trying to get to the quarterback and then get rid of the ball, or like, and then they're playing back and they're just trying to get to the quarterback and keep the ball in front of them in the secondary. Just get rid of the ball. And I think that's what everybody started doing. The comment back to you here is from Porter, says the Panthers did it. I think it was before that. I think it was way before that, if I'm being real. I think it was just post bye week that it was like, oh, okay. Like, and it was like, hey, we're better than this. Let's get it moving. Let's get going. But yeah, so I actually disagree with Porter. I think it was well before the Panthers game. I'd ballpark it like week 9, week 10. I'm trying to think who we were playing about that time. But yeah, there was a few in there where I was like, oof. It's like they're kind of getting us here, man. So let's see here. Got a few more to get through. I won't say get through. That's bad. A few more we have the pleasure to answer. I like that approach. Payo time. Greater Ram only if they were the healthy player. So who would have been better if they were healthy? Sam Bradford or Denario Alexander? Bro, I love Denario Alexander. Got to watch him play in person 2010. It was my first Rams regular season game in Denver. We ended that game in first place in the NFC West. That was pretty swag. And then I met DeMarco Farr and Chris Long after the game. Phenomenal. Let me think here. Because Denario was sick, man. He was actually really good. But also, let's not forget that Sam Bradford came in and rookie season 2010 came in, started all games, and I remember his first touchdown pass. It was like the corner of the end zone, the front corner of the end zone. I can picture the player. I can't think of his name right now. Caught his first touchdown pass right in that front corner of the right end zone at Edward Jones Dome. Very exciting times. It was against the Cardinals. I just can't remember the player's name. But I think Sam Bradford, man, he took us from being absolute dog water to being a almost playoff team. If we don't lose to Charlie Whitehurst in that final game of the regular season, then the beast quake never happens, and we don't lose to freaking Charlie Whitehurst. Yeah, gross. So I actually say Sam Bradford, man. I think he was incredible. He was so much better than he gets credit for. He also made way more money than he deserved in the NFL. And that's not normally something I would say about a player. Go get your friggin' money, man. And in fairness, he beat the hell out of his body to earn those dollars. So hell yeah, man. It's kind of congratulations. You know what? I just changed my stance in real time. You watch that happen. Hell yeah, Sam. Get him. If the money's not going to the players, it's going to the owners. And I'd rather have it go to the players. Players, coaches, staff, employees, owners making a ton of money out of you, man. Anyway, so yeah, I would say Sam. I think Bradford was awesome. I got his jersey right away. I got it on my birthday in July of 2010 before he even touched the field. That's the jersey that got stolen out of my car. So sad, man. I'd rock another Bradford jersey. Next one here from Rams House. If Jalen Watson were a candy, what candy would he be? So I was thinking about this, and then I kind of like forgot that I was thinking about it, and then I was like, I was like, oh yeah, I got to think about what about J Watt, and it just came in my head right away, man. I'm gonna go with Nerds Ropes. I know that Nerds Gummy Clusters are the big hit right now, but the Nerds Ropes is what I'm gonna go with, and it's because absolutely phenomenal. Probably underrated by most people. And the reason I'm not going with the clusters is because he's kind of tall and lanky. I think that's reasonable, right? That makes perfect sense. All right. Next one here from Rams House. If you could pick one game in the Sean McVay era to go back in time and watch again in person, what game would you pick? Cannot be Rams, Chiefs, or any playoff game. Okay, what? You can't say any and then give me all these stipulations. Dang. Okay, so not Rams, Chiefs, because that was going to be the pick, I'll be honest. Or any playoff game. Damn it. Super Bowl would have been there. Or NFC Championship game. Damn. There's a few that are coming in my brain right now. I would say first game as the Rams head coach, 2017 Coliseum against the Colts. I remember we just destroyed them. There's something about the Colts. We just kind of just kick their asses usually. I don't know what that is. So that game, that would be way up there for sure. I'm trying to remember who we played that year where we clinched the division, because that game, being at that would be unbelievable. Just so cool. I got the towel, so I think it's this one from RWO. Shout out, dude. The Booster Clubs rock. Yeah, that's up there. Rams Broncos Christmas Day at SoFi, just because being from Colorado and having not lost to the Broncos since 2001, I think that's just one of those, like, I just would have loved that so much, dude. It's so fun to watch the Broncos get beat the hell up, man. I'm not like a Bronco hater or anything like that, but like, it's so quiet when they get smoked like that, and it's so nice out here. I'm going to stick with those two right now just because I don't want to take a ton of time just sitting here trying to think of games. I'm sure there's some that I'm missing in here where it's like, oh, obviously that would be it. I want to hear yours though, man. I make sure you comment on the episode. I want to hear which ones you would pick for sure. That Baker Mayfield Raiders game is up there. That would have been fun. I want to go with a ton of just Baker games though. First game for Stafford for the Rams. It's the only time we used that end zone layout. That's pretty cool. That'd been a fun one. So yeah. Let's see here. GP Shadow. Thanks for coming in, man. I feel like it's been a bit since you've popped into the Quesos. Represent. Says, which game on the schedule are you concerned about? I'd say Eagles and Cowboys based on our most recent matchups. That's yeah, I mean, those are solid picks for sure. I think the Chiefs are going to be just almost damn near back to what they were. Maybe not quite as good on defense, but I think that their offense is going to be very powerful this year. I think that the Chargers is going to be a tough one, but the reason that I think that is because I think that the Chargers are trying to kind of try to unseat us a little bit as far as like, if they beat us in this season where we're blatantly just the best team in the land, then they get to be like, hey, we're LA, you know what I mean? So I think that that's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a good game. I'll be at that one, so come and say what up and give high fives and drink beers. But that's a good one. The Packers game, I just feel like we don't do well against them. We had that one game that we beat them. It was because the Ty Montgomery took the ball out of the end zone on the kickoff and then fumbled it, and we picked it up, and then just it was over. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. So that was cool, but I feel like we usually lose to them. Giants are better than they get credit for. The first few games, man, we have some really tough games in the front end of the schedule. Bills are obviously going to be a talented football team. Yeah, I think I'll go with those ones. I was my brain wanted to put in to Seattle, but those are so late that I don't think I'd worry about those right now, because I think NFL kind of burned themselves putting both of those games so late, because what if one of us isn't as good? Then you just burn two really good slots that you could have had some other action in. I feel like you should do kind of like week 4 through 9, you should get one of each of your division opponents. And then 3 of the last 4 games should be against all 3 of your division opponents also. I don't know. I just feel that way. And the Porter said Packers could be a trap game. I don't think it's a trap game if the team is like a playoff team. So I wouldn't call it a trap game, but they do well against us. Next one here, coming from Porter. Represent Porter. It says, do you think Puka is going to get suspended? No idea. I don't really have opinions on this, honestly. There's a kind of a particular reason I didn't even talk about this, because I don't know, man. I don't have the information. I don't know what the league is looking at. I don't know what the league has. I don't know the information they have. I don't know what precedent they're trying to set that could be the case. The unfortunate thing is that he's a really big name player, so they could be looking at it. It's like, yeah, we're actually going to have the first ever NFL game in Australia against one of the best NFL rivalries of all time. But to prove a point, we are going to sit one of the best players in our league. That's a tough one, but I don't think it's impossible, just so the league can be like, we don't care who you are, stop messing up off the field. And when you can do that to a guy like Puka, I think it sends a message. And so that's unfortunate that we're in that kind of potential situation. I'm not sure if that's what's happening, but I do think that that's a possibility. But ultimately, I don't know. I don't have the information on this. We don't know if anything's going to happen to AJ. We don't know if anything's going to happen to Puka. There's other players involved in those conversations as well. I don't think it's unrealistic that Puka gets suspended, but even if he does, I think it's going to be 2 games, and then he's back week 3 against Denver, and then we're probably just rolling from there. So that's what I think. And then next part here from Porter says, who going to have a good game, Ty Simpson or Bennett, Rams quarterback, we got in 2023? I know Bennett. We've met. We have met. I don't think Bennett plays. If he does, it's going to be so limited and probably worthless. I don't think we need to see anything from Bennett, honestly. I just don't. Yeah, I think that's ultimately my opinions on the Bennett and Ty Simpson preseason rep distribution is that I just don't think we need to see anything from Stetson Bennett to be like, hey, is he going to be our guy or anything? Like, we're already seeing that in camp. We get some joint practices, obviously, which is more important to the evaluations than preseason games for the Rams specifically. So I think that ultimately we'll just see Ty Simpson. So to answer your question, I'm going to go with Ty. Last question here coming from Muad'Dib says, what is your ideal uni schedule? So I'm not going to run through the full thing here. I'm not going to run through the full schedule. We already know that we get our throwbacks, the yellow throwbacks week 2 against the Giants, and then week 13 against the Chiefs. And then we get our white throwbacks that Thanksgiving Eve game against the Green Bay Packers, which will be fun. But I think that ultimately if I went with my ideal uni schedule, we do rivalries against, we do rivalries against the Cardinals because we did it last year against the Seahawks, and we can't do it against the 49ers because that's not at SoFi Stadium. So I do rivalries against the Cardinals. And then really from there, your basic, early season, you're wearing, we like to wear whites at home early season. So I do that, but I would say for Denver, we know in week 3, Denver announced that they're going to be wearing their navies. So the navy on navy, I think with the navy helmet, the picture was not clear. The picture shared that they were going to be wearing their navy uniforms once on Christmas and then once against us. And then there was 2 players. One was wearing a navy helmet. One was wearing a white. It's like, I don't know what that means. Tell me what you're wearing. So I do think that for a situation like that, I don't like same color on same color. The only way I think it looks decent is white on white. I think we see white on white for that one. But ultimately, I don't hate the Rams legendary classic look, which is just a blue uniform with the horn on the shoulder and yellow pants, or a white uniform with the horn on the shoulder, yellow sleeves, and yellow pants. That's my favorite. I love it. I love that that's just a legendary look. No matter how many times we tried to twist it around and add these little features and stuff like that, that look has always been the most classic. White, yellow, blue, yellow. You know what I mean? That's just, I think, the best look. So that's what I would go with. And then I would add some yellow games because yellow jersey represent, dude. I've been so fired up for yellow jerseys for so long. Ever since we lost those color rush ones, I was like, this is kind of lame. But to have a yellow jersey back and to not be paired with yellow pants, bro, hit them with it, man. That's not normally something that makes an appearance here on this show, but I felt like it was necessary. So we got that going for us. Appreciate the hell out of your Fan Quesos. Everybody who drops those. Again, if you want to participate, make sure you drop them. Post goes up on the Ram Showcase YouTube channel, as well as the Ram Showcase Facebook page. I share that to my own. At Ram Showcase is where you can follow along everywhere. At Sheriff Joe Bags, you can follow along as well. Let me actually find, I don't want to tell you the wrong name, because I'm actually going to be on a show on Thursday this week, leading in to the preseason. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Okay, so it's the SoFire Spotlights. So we're going on tomorrow, Thursday, at 7 p.m. Ram time. So make sure you join there. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. I'm guessing Rams football. I don't like to ask people. It happens to me all the time when I get guests where they're like, what are we talking about? Can you send me the questions ahead of time? I hate that, actually. Don't send me anything ahead of time, dude. I've done this for 10 years, man. Just go off the dome. Just ask me questions about the Rams. I can give you something. I promise. I love that. And it makes it more raw, too. I'm not planning my answers. You know what I mean? Let's get to hang out and have a killer time. So join me for that as well. Both horns. We are hammering that thing hard right now, man. Both horns are going to be very much into your life. A shout out, dude. I gotta go find that comment again and give some major ups. We actually had somebody on the Ram Showcase Facebook page that commented on one of our shows one time when it was called Tuna and the Sheriff. And he just said, give them both horns. And he was talking about Kyron Williams and Blake Corum as being the two horns or whatever. And it was like, give them both horns is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. And then it was like, dude, give them both horns. Dude, we could be both horns and we can give it to them. Like, so that's kind of how it started. And then I wrote the intro, and that's the funniest thing I've ever written in my life. So if you don't know the intro, it starts the show, obviously. So go check out Both Horns. It's available everywhere you listen to podcasts. It streams live on the Ram Showcase Facebook page and the First and Tuna Podcast YouTube channel. So definitely check us out, man. Enjoy the game this weekend, man. We get a preseason game. The Kansas City Chiefs playing host to your Los Angeles Rams. Plenty of good action to watch in this one. Plenty of questions to answer. Is Aaron Donald going to be back? Is he going to be on the sideline for this game? Maybe just kind of getting the vibes right. Man, is Ty Simpson going to go the hell off? Or are we going to be like, oh no, what did we do? We'll see. Is CJ Daniels going to unseat Puka Nacua come week 1? Is he going to be that awesome already? Is Keegan Trost one of those guys that we should be starting right now? Who knows, man? Who knows? We're about to find out this coming Saturday, though. Some of those questions may get answered. You don't know. You don't know. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, tonight. Make sure you follow along on all your favorite social media at Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags, ramshowcase.com for all the action. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube as well, as this season figures to be pretty fun. Join me, shall you? It's going to be a good time. That is going to do it for me, though. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. This has been Ram Showcase on Sports War Radio. For those of you who aren't Rams fans, our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who are Rams fans, thank you so much for watching, and go Rams.